Coming up on Just Us Gals, we hear from registered therapist and mom Amy Wilson on the importance of letting your kids feel those feelings, breaking generational cycles, navigating those tricky toddler tantrums. We learn what attuned parenting is, and Heather and I have an aha moment on why we're both people pleasers.
I'm Heather.
I'm Jess, and this is
Just Us Gals. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Just Us Gals. Today we're joined with Amy Wilson, and
Hi,
she
Amy.
is, hello. She's a mother of two daughters, right?
Two daughters, yeah.
Two daughters, so she's part of the girl club we've got going on here.
Yeah.
Another Just Us gal.
Yeah.
And she is, how would you describe yourself? A mom and family psychologist? Just give us a bit of background on you.
Yeah. So I am a mom first and foremost to my daughters. I'm also a psychologist, and I work almost exclusively. I say almost exclusively, but that actually might be a lie. Pretty much exclusively with moms. And so I developed that passion, I guess, like through my own journey. So that has included a lot of perinatal work as well as parenting work, as well as a lot of like attachment trauma and trauma work, just supporting moms, really moms that are like me, who are trying to be parents and navigate how do I do this when I've got my own past, and we've got this terrible world that is so judgmental of moms. So that's I guess that's a little bit of a small nutshell about kind of who I am and how I describe myself. But
I love that, because I feel like that is something that everybody struggles with, is like all the judgment that we have, and literally every single thing that we do, also accompanied with our own shame and guilt that we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then, frustrations you get with like, oh, why did I react that way? Or why did I do this? Like, I feel like everyone would benefit from diving deeper into that
I
stuff.
agree with that fully.
Yeah.
100%.
So we start every episode off with the mom win or loss from the week. What have you got for us, Amy?
I made a dinner this week that my girls both were like, this one isn't actually that bad. And so that's like,
Wait.
Hallelujah.
Wait.
I know.
Does the 8-year-old still do that? Like, when does that end? When does that end?
I don't know. I'm waiting on that one.
Oh,
I'm
my
waiting on
gosh.
that one.
Don't ask my parents that question. I was picky until university.
Are you for real, Heather?
Yeah, now I eat everything. I love food. But I wouldn't eat anything growing up. My mom had to make like dry chicken.
I really thought it was like a toddler thing, like a little kid thing. Oh my gosh.
No. It stuck with me. My parents used to like bargain with me. Like, oh my God, if you eat this. But I found ways to get out of eating things. I used to spit my food into my napkin and then flush it down the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Because they made me sit at the table and finish my meal. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
If we asked your mom a parenting win or fail, that would be her fail, is my eldest daughter will not eat my meals.
Completely. But
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So buckle up is what you guys are saying. Thanks.
Yeah. Our
Thanks
only
for the
rule
heads up.
right now is we tell them they don't have to eat it. The only thing is that they're just not allowed to say ugh as soon as they see it. And we're still not winning on that rule.
Yeah.
They still do it every time. So
My kids are doing that.
So our rule is you have to try it first. You can't just say you don't like it.
right.
If I see you try it, fine. I'll get
Fair
you
enough.
something else.
Yeah.
But you can't just say and throw it away.
Yeah.
See, that's where I struggle, is because sometimes, I'll put something on my kids' plate that I know that they like. So I know that at least they have one thing that they're going to eat. But there are times where my youngest will just be like, yucky, I don't want any of it. I'm not going to eat it. And she doesn't eat dinner, and I don't want to give her backup dinner.
Yes.
So I'm like, is she going to bed starving? But
Probably not. She's
I'm
probably
sure
fine.
she's fine.
I just don't want to make a habit of her. I don't want her to think like, if I say it's yucky, I'm going to get a bun. Because that's all she wants to eat is buns.
Yeah.
So
Girl after my heart.
just a bun lover.
Fresh white bun with fresh butter on it, not cut,
It is so
ripped
good.
apart.
Yeah.
Anything better?
Yeah,
I don't
ripped.
think so. It has to be ripped, not cut.
It has to be ripped.
You know what I'm super interested in? This comes directly from me. I am a huge people pleaser, and I do not want to raise my girls that way. And I know Heather has the same sentiment. So what would you say are some tips that you could provide parents that don't
Are
raise
people pleasers.
who are people pleasers who don't want to raise people pleasers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's it's a really big question, right? And it comes down to what is the people pleasing coming from? And it's coming from a place of, if I could put it really broadly, oftentimes people pleasing is coming from a place of shame, right? It's like, I'm not good enough, so I have to prove that I'm good enough, and I need to make, I need to show that I can be good enough, and I can be in your good graces, and I can get right. And it's from this like very dysregulated place.
Or like, I want you to like me, so I'll
I
go
want you to
above and
like,
beyond.
I'll put your needs
yeah.
above mine.
Yeah, yeah. Like if I want you to like me, and I'm gonna make sure that everybody else's needs are covered. This is like, it's hypervigilance, right? And it's hyper aware of what's going on for everybody else. So I say it's such a big question because it's not like one specific thing that we can, we can't just tell our kids like, hey, don't be a people pleaser. And then they're like, great, fantastic, got it. It's
Yeah.
not
Noted.
so noted. Exactly. Yeah. It's, in a lot of cases, it's really looking at ourselves and going, okay, is my child being raised in a way where they almost like have to meet my needs in a subtle way? And
Okay.
to be honest, and I will say that every single parent, we do this. This is not like bad parenting 101. This is like just, this is normal. Our kids are looking to meet our needs, right? Get we're trying to get the good stuff, which is I have connections and I feel supported and seen by my parents. And so kids are kind of raised in this way where they're like, okay, well, if mom was feeling sad and I went up to mom and I gave her a hug and then she gave me attention, well, that worked. I got attention. That was so good. It was so good. Like, that must be how I do it. That's how I'm going to do life now. Right?
Yeah.
And
Very
so
loaded question indeed.
it's so
Yeah.
tricky, right? And so a lot of the time it's really like, okay, what kind of unintentional and like subconscious messages am I putting into my child about how they need to meet other people's needs in order to gain love, right?
Right. So how can we reinforce behavior that might not be like, oh, they're not necessarily doing it to gain love. They're doing it maybe for themselves. Is that kind of how you would
Yeah.
teach them to do things more for them and not
yeah.
for others? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And maybe I have this wrong with what you were meaning, but I think what you're meaning is like, how can I teach my child to be like a nice person just
Sure.
because they want to be a nice person? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And not because they're doing it because they think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
I think it does. Well, something that I talk with a lot of clients about is, when we look at the window of tolerance, and a lot of us are really familiar with this window of tolerance and dysregulation. And when we look at the window of tolerance, being regulated often means that I use the C words. It's like calm, cool, collected, but we're also connected, right? We're connected, we're curious, we're compassionate. It's like all these beautiful C words. When I'm regulated, I'm going to be all of these things. And that's just how humans naturally, we naturally want to be that. But if I'm not in a grounded or regulated place, like if I'm constantly in fight or flight, it's going to be really hard for me to be compassionate or connected or curious about another person's experience or able to step into somebody else's stuff from like a grounded and empathetic way. And the same is going to be true for our children. So I think that a key here is it's not necessarily an explicit teaching. It's not like direct teaching. It's more so, from my perspective, it's going, okay, what does my child actually need in order to be regulated?
Okay.
Right? And so it's not necessarily going to be like, can I tell my child, hey, you should have been nice to little Tommy today? Like, they don't really care. Or do I say, hey, you were feeling really overwhelmed today, weren't you? And I saw you got really upset with Tommy and you hit Tommy, right? I can tell my child, well, you shouldn't do that. But if they're dysregulated, they're still going to be doing that. So maybe I'm going, okay, what happened? What's contributing to their dysregulation? And for me, it's often looking at a lot of sensory things. It's like, okay, does my child need to wear, earmuffs because it's overwhelming? Maybe they were wearing really uncomfortable clothes. Maybe they're feeling excluded in school. And if I can look at their needs instead and get them to a more regulated place, this is how we naturally develop kids that are going, okay, I'm comfortable, I'm calm, I can be compassionate,
Okay.
right? I can be connected, I can be kind, but not from like a how do I get my needs met kind of a way.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm definitely following what you're saying. I understand that because there's been times where I've seen Penny just act completely out of character. And like, she once pushed her sister like hard, shoved her hard and didn't ask her if she was okay and just like walked away and was like, And I remember I got mad at her and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what do you, and it was when I was dropping her off at day home. And as I drove away, I was kind of thinking to myself and I'm like, well, she's actually got a lot going on. And so, because I'm like, I couldn't wrap my head around, like, that is so not her character to do that. But there was actually a lot going on in her life at the time. And so looking at it from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense. Because I couldn't get through to her when I was asking her why she did it, which I realize now is not, asking a kid why is never going to work. Usually, I don't know. But,
Because that's the thing is she doesn't know, right? Her little brain, she's not in a logical place, right? She's not in the logical part of her brain at that point. She's in the like primal centers of her brain that are like, I don't know why. And now I'm being asked to, or I'm being pushed to say why, and that's going to make mom happy, right? So they'll learn to like mask these things. But at the end of the day, when they're being kids, right? When they're being dysregulated, they're in their like primal centers of their brain. They're not in the logical part, right? So we try to be so logical with our kids and we try to teach them explicitly. And at the end of the day, like they really don't have like a prefrontal cortex. Like it is not there yet. So they cannot be logical.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit more on that, like the prefrontal cortex then? Like, because I hear that a lot. Like, I mean, I heard it jokingly on like a dating show where it was like, I'm 25, so my prefrontal cortex is now fully developed, so I'm going to make smarter decisions. Like, she was joking. But I'm like, I hear all this talk about the prefrontal cortex. Like, how,
like what
when you say it's not fully developed, like, can you speak a bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so this analogy is actually, this is Dan Siegel's work. So if you're ever looking into more of it, Dan Siegel has this really beautiful analogy where he uses his fist, and basically this is a model of my brain. So if the front part, like the fingers over the top this is the front, like at the forehead, okay? This is the part of my brain that like does math, it does language, it has a logical conversation, right? It's able to go, okay, I am safe here. I'm able to make sense of this conversation. Now, what he says is we can go into this other place though, because inside of our brain, this is the brain stem. I'm pointing right now at the base of my head and like the spinal column. This is the keep me alive center. Okay. This is like, I need to survive. Okay. So when we find ourselves feeling threatened or overwhelmed, or there's just too much sensory stuff going on, maybe it's that I'm in a place of deep shame, I do this thing called flipping my lid. So I, like the fingers on the top, the prefrontal cortex, it goes offline. It is not there anymore, right? And now all of a sudden, I am in my core primal center, right? I'm not going to be logical. I'm going to be reactive. And it's interesting that, when she says, well, I'm 25, so my prefrontal cortex is fully developed. Like I'm in my mid-30s, and there are definitely times where I flip my lid and like I'm not being logical. And I don't need somebody to walk in and be like, calm down. Why are you acting that way? right? I don't
Yeah.
need that. I
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably will freak out more at them.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't tell me
So
I'm cranky.
don't
Yeah.
tell me I'm
Yeah,
cranky.
I know
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
Yeah.
being insane right now.
Yeah.
So
so aware
what?
of that. And I
Yeah.
kind of just need you to like give me a hug,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't need to have any logic because my prefrontal cortex is not there
It's
right now.
off.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in logic. I'm not in a logical place. I'm in my
Mm-hmm.
emotional center.
Okay. Yeah.
So why this is really important for kids is that when we're born, we don't really need our prefrontal cortex, right? I don't need to be logical as a newborn.
Mm-hmm.
I need to scream if I'm cold, scream if I'm hungry, scream if I feel lonely, right? That's what I need to do because I need to survive.
Yeah.
So I only really need the center part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So the prefrontal cortex is not developed. And for our children who, now they can speak and they seem like they're, little mini adults,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is they don't have the logical side of them. It's still being developed. And she's right that they say it's until we're about 25, but that's a little ambiguous, right? That it's
Right.
going to be on a bit of a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But for our like 6-year-olds, they're not very logical. They're still acting from their primal selves.
Mm-hmm. I think that's super helpful for like helping me to, when I can understand it in that sense, it will make me stop and remind myself like, wait, this
Yeah.
is, she is definitely not being logical right now. And there's no point in me trying to speak logically to her. It's like, I guess would the best steps that I can think maybe would be more to just like figure out what needs need to be met kind of thing in that moment, or, offering support, or is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, yeah,
Depending
yeah.
on the
It's a
kid.
lot of it's looking at things through a very different lens instead of going, okay, what do I logically need to say? It's instead going, okay, what is the need that my child is expressing here? And it might be a bit of
Right.
like a chronic kind of a need, like overarchingly they feel anxious and overwhelmed and maybe they do have higher sensory needs. Or it might be just like in this moment, they're feeling sad. And so they don't need us to step in and say, well, you shouldn't act that way, right? You shouldn't act that way because often when we're feeling some sort of a way, we're going to act in strange ways. And then when we tell them, no, you just shouldn't act that way, and we fail to kind of dive into like what's going on, I think this is actually the core of people pleasing because then that child is like, okay, well, I shouldn't act that way means I should shove down that feeling. I shouldn't think about that one. That one led to mom being mad. That
Yeah.
one led to
Okay.
everybody being upset with me.
So I have a question. And then how do you navigate teaching them to put their own needs first over somebody else's whilst also still just being a kind human being?
Yeah, yeah, teaching them like how to take care of how to notice what their needs are, right?
Over
Yeah.
somebody else's, because for me
Yeah.
it's I shove everything I need away to help somebody else first, or right, or just not necessarily help, but just to be there for somebody else. But I also want to be kind, so I don't know, I think that takes
Like
precedence
boundaries,
for
kind
me.
of?
Exactly, how do you hold the boundary?
Yeah, that I think that a lot of that comes from modeling, and it's like it's
Okay.
kindness for when I talk about kindness, and I talk to my kids about this all the time. It's like kindness to me means kindness for you, but it also means kindness for me, right? So what do
Oh,
I
I
have
love
to
that.
do to be kind to myself, right? So if I'm in the presence of somebody who's hitting me, maybe that somebody is my child. I'm going to still be kind to them. And I'm going to say, hey, I understand that you're feeling overwhelmed. And kindness for me means that I'm going to take a step back and I'm not going to allow myself to be hurt.
Okay. I
And
get
if I
that. Yeah.
model that enough, and then my child starts to go, okay, I wasn't behaving very nicely, but I still got love, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And I saw mom setting some boundaries for herself. Like I saw mom taking care of
Yes.
herself, and it didn't take away from the love for me. Mom still loves me. Mom still cares about me. She's just going to protect herself, and that's okay. right? Over time, my child learns and internalizes that, and they see that. They see that from me, right? So I think it comes from us saying, hey, kindness means I'll be kind to you, but I'll also be kind to me.
So a lot of this sounds like gentle parenting. So what is your take on gentle parenting versus 90s parenting?
Yeah.
Which I think produced all of us people pleasers.
Exactly, totally.
Yeah. 90s parenting. I want to just like be nice to 90s parents for a second. And like my own parents who probably got things wrong and did it from the most authentic and well-meaning place.
Because 90s parenting probably derived from 60s
Boomer
parenting,
parenting.
and then
Yeah.
30s parent, like, you know what I mean?
Cycles,
Exactly.
breaking them.
So
Yeah, and it came from a lot of like behavior modification ideas, right? So it was like classic conditioning, and the idea of, if I give rewards or punishments, I will either increase or decrease a behavior. Right? So we're looking at just the behavior. The problem with that is that we're not looking at like what's the stuff underneath it, right? What's the feeling underneath it? Am I helping my child to actually regulate?
it's like a Band-Aid situation.
Yeah, it's a Band-Aid situation, and it's often a fast Band-Aid, right? It can be a fast Band-Aid. So, people will go, okay, well, if I spanked my child for doing that, well, they're never going to do it again, right?
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, worked.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know what I mean. I
Totally.
was spanked is what I remember that, and I was terrified.
yeah,
Like I was like, oh my god, okay.
A lot of parenting out of fear. Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And then that child was going, okay, well, I should be afraid, right? I should go into the rest of my life in this hypervigilance kind of a way. And most often when parents are spanking or doing things like that, similar, it comes out of them being dysregulated, right? So now that child goes into life being like, okay, I should probably be very aware and very attuned to how other people are feeling, right?
Yeah.
So like for you, Jess, when you're saying, well, I'm a people pleaser, like I put other people's needs first, right? I see that as I'm so attuned and so worried about what other people are feeling, but my own needs, like I don't even know what they are because I've been spanked for feeling my own needs.
Yeah.
Or expressing my own needs.
Or just shut my emotions down for feeling them.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
it's,
you know what? I guess maybe I was, in no shade against my parents, but inadvertently raised to feel like my emotions didn't matter, right?
yeah,
So I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And I would say on my side of it, because I am also a people pleaser. Jess and I talk about this all the time. I
Regular
think-
content on the show.
I know. It's interesting hearing what you're saying because I'm like, it's finally like putting words to something that I couldn't figure out before. And it's 100% I was spanked. And I was very quick to be like, okay, whatever I do, I need to make sure that my parents, I don't make them change their mood. I don't do this. Like, and if they seem like they're off or in a bad mood, I need to be really good.
Totally.
I need to be like, and I've always need to be like, okay, I have to be the best student. I have to be the best
Yes.
this. I have to do the best that because I was so
It's
afraid to like get it wrong.
tiptoeing around your parents' moods.
Completely tiptoeing, yeah. And I also want to clarify because I realized I said, and it worked. I do not spank my children.
I do not condone spanking, nor do I spank my children.
When I say it worked, I mean it worked in the sense that
You
was
corrected
so
your
scared.
behavior.
Yeah, I did. I corrected it. So it was the idea of the punishment. And like, I don't feel like I didn't get many rewards, but I got punished.
yeah. Like you became a
So-
good kid,
Well, I was
probably.
a very good kid, let me tell you. My
Yeah.
parents, like, I was an angel. But those things have show their faces, reared their heads now, in the sense that I'm like, I put so much stress and pressure on myself to be the best at things because I feel like I need to be.
Yeah.
And when I fail, oh my God, does it ever hit you hard?
Totally.
And I don't want, and that's why Jess and I have talked about this before, is we do not want that for our kids.
No.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I don't want that.
Amy,
they grow up.
essentially just like make it okay for your kids to have feelings is what you're saying.
And help them through
And honor
it.
them.
And help them through it. Yeah, yeah, help them through it to an extent, right? Like help them through it, allow them to know that like it's okay to feel that way, right? Like I can give an example even just from this morning. We were talking about how it's gotten cold this morning and we chose to bike to school, which turns out it's too cold on the hands
We
to
do
do
that
that.
too.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, and you know, it wasn't as cold in Edmonton, I will say.
Oh,
I mean,
was like
No?
7 degrees here today. This
Yeah, there was
Yikes.
frost on the ground.
Yes.
And
think
my
we were 11.
daughter's like so upset, my 8-year-old, almost 8-year-old. And she started crying and was so distraught about this, right? And so here's where sometimes we've swung too far in the other direction. And I don't necessarily advocate like what is classically known as like gentle parenting, because gentle parenting would mean it would almost mean me being like hyper vigilant to her feelings there and scared of that, right? And going, oh no, you're so distraught, you're so upset. And to be clear, like nobody was getting frostbite. It's like a 5-minute bike ride.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to be okay.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
know I'm going to keep her safe, but she's feeling the cold. And so she's crying about it. And so I'm calling back to her, but we're biking and I'm trying to keep up to my 6-year-old too, right? And I'm going, okay, hey, hon, I know that it's hard. I know that this feels really hard, and we're going to get there. You can do this. You can totally do this. I know that it feels hard, right? So gentle parenting, or what's often portrayed as gentle parenting in like social media, would be, you know, stop everything, make sure she's okay, save her from this feeling. Whereas
Okay.
I'm going, no, attuned parenting means I'm going to acknowledge that need. Like, I'm going to acknowledge that. And I'm going to tell her, hey, you're not a bad person for crying. And I'm not going to punish you for crying. And it's okay. And we're going to get there. You know, you have 2 more minutes to bike. And
Yeah.
you can feel this feeling.
The faster we
Of
get there,
cold.
the faster your hands will be warm. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Push
feel
through.
cold for a little bit. And you're going to be okay. That feeling is not going to kill you. Right?
I love
Because
that. Attuned parenting.
Attuned parenting.
Right.
I haven't heard that.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, just being
Yeah.
more connected with our kids' feelings. We're not trying to take it away. I'm not
And,
going
like,
to take away her
Be their
feeling of
savior.
cold. Yeah, yeah, I'm not going to run in and solve everything, but she's allowed to have the feeling and she's not going to get punished for it. Right?
Yeah.
Very
That's a big
cool.
one.
Amy, in your description on your website, you mentioned the word neuro-spicy.
Yeah.
Tell me about
What
that.
does that mean? Yeah. I love the word neuro-spicy.
Is that a real
essentially-
term?
It's not like a diagnostic term. It's more, but we often hear about, you know, neurodiversity.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay, my child very clearly has a little bit of different needs. And we don't know exactly what that fits. You know, it might be diagnosable. There might be, you know, a diagnosis of ADHD or autism or anxiety. We might be able to put this in the DSM. But at the end of the day, they're just a little bit more complex. They're maybe a little bit more of a tricky kid to parent. They maybe have bigger feelings than the average kid. And yeah, I find that neuro-spicy just kind of it normalizes it a little bit. It says, hey, it's okay to have these differences. It's okay. It's like not a problem. But yeah, that's how I always describe my daughter, who, you know, I can say fairly confidently that she's got certain diagnoses, but it's so complex to get those diagnoses when we have
Right.
tricky medical systems.
Yeah.
And so I just allow it to be like, hey, you know what? You can be who you are. You can be neuro-spicy. You can be a little bit different, and that's okay.
When at what age did you maybe start noticing that she had more, you know, more with
little bit different.
sensitivities or?
Yeah, it's funny actually. I say from day one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, day one. And I think back to like we went to like birth and babies, which was the like the AHS birthing class, right? And my daughter was born early, so we were able to bring her to quite a lot of the classes. And I remember the instructor saying to us, she was kind of laughing. She was like, I know all of your babies are like 1 week old, but does anybody have any read on what you think their personality is? And I remember saying, I was like, I don't know how to describe this any other way than to say that she just seems really fast. And like, I know she's a newborn, but she seems really fast. Like, her temper is fast. She's so fiery. And I can just, it's like you can almost feel that her heart rate is faster. I can feel this like fastness. And and as she grew, I'm like, I've been that's felt very confirming.
That's funny. Yeah.
That she's just, it's like her nervous system runs really fast. So she trends towards, being in fight or flight, perceiving that something is a danger. She trends towards anxiety. She trends towards perfectionism. She trends towards, all of what we would see as like a fast nervous system. So,
Got it.
yeah. So I would say quite literally day one. And I doubted myself for a long time because I was like, well, that's stupid, right? You're being ridiculous. This was my oldest daughter. And it actually wasn't until my second daughter was born. And I was like, oh, no, this is a neurotypical kid.
Right.
This is,
I was spot on.
yeah, like this was a very different experience. And yeah, so I felt it right from the very beginning, from the
Interesting.
get-go.
So, in your style of parenting, when your kids were a little bit younger and they were having an absolute freak out tantrum, meltdown, like just seeing red, won't hear a word,
Yeah.
how would you deal with that?
Yeah, first step is I'm going to check in with myself. Very first thing. I'm going to go, my first thing is like my shoulders are going to go right up into my ears. And so my first step is I'm literally going to go, okay, pull your shoulders down, pause, take a deep breath, put your feet flat on the floor, remind myself like you're safe. You're safe. You're okay. So now
Yeah,
I
because
can
that
step
really
into
fires
that.
up the nervous system, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. Because when I'm dealing with my child who's overwhelmed, not only am I going into my own shame spirals about like, oh, does this mean I'm a terrible parent? How do I navigate this? And this is going to trigger my own nervous system to go, this is unsafe. Like literally this child, my nervous system doesn't know that this is a 2-year-old child, not a lion that's chasing me.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this kid is definitely a threat because it's screaming and it's loud and it's overwhelmed. So I need to pause myself. Like, okay, pull my shoulders down, take a few deep breaths, and then I'm going to step into that with them. And for both of my kids, they need very different things. But for my more neuro-spicy kid, she just needs a lot more stillness. So I will say, it's interesting how when you ask, when they were toddlers, what would you have done? When they were toddlers, I would have done it totally wrong, honestly. And there's been a lot of growth since then. But when they were toddlers, I would have tried to say, like, reason with them. I would have been like, oh, you don't need to worry so much. It's just, you have the purple bowl and not the blue bowl. It's not that big of a deal. So that's where I kind of got things wrong because they weren't being logical.
Yeah.
So instead, once I started to shift things, it's more so going, okay, what does my child need in order to take that deep breath that I'm trying to get? For my one child, she just needs me to like scoop her up and give her some really deep pressure, like just a hug.
Okay.
So I'm not even going to talk about, if the situation is that she wanted the blue bowl and she got the purple bowl and she's now thrown her cereal across the room. I'm not even going to talk about that. Like, I'm not even going to say any words about it. I'm literally going to pick her up and I'm going to be like, I know this feels really overwhelming. Let's go and sit together. We're going to sit on the rocking chair and we're going to just rock for a little bit. And then I'm going to take deep breaths for myself. Like, I'm modeling it. And she will feel my regulation from that rather than saying, you need to calm down. You need to take some deep breaths. Like I need to show it through myself and then she feels it. Right. My other
What if,
child needs a little bit more space, but
Okay.
it's a little
how do
bit
you,
more.
is it, I was just gonna say, like, because I know some kids, like my kid will like be kicking.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
So
If you
for
can't pick
me,
them up and apply firm
yeah,
pressure
is
and right,
space
right?
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and same idea, right? Is the same idea. It's just we want to slow things down for them because their little brains are like their brains also don't know that the purple bull versus the blue bull is not a lion, right? So I'm gonna show them,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be slow enough and I'm gonna be calm enough to show you that you are not running away from a lion and it's okay. And then when you're ready, I'm right here, right? I'm right here with you when you
Okay.
need it. I'm not going to say, you need to go to your room, you need to get out of here. I'm just going to be with them through that. And I'm not going to tell them to stop it. I am going to say, hey, you can't throw your bowl across the room. And I might kind of pause their hands.
Yeah.
At any point, do you give in to what they want?
Yeah,
Do you give them
sometimes.
the purple bowl or whichever bowl they wanted?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah, I think that one's going to be a lot of like reading it, right?
Okay.
Reading your child and yes, absolutely. I think there is a lot of benefit, honestly, in, if we can kind of calm things down, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, if I don't really care and we can talk about it now, like, and we have both bowls available, well, okay, yeah, you can have the other bowl, but I'm
Yeah.
probably not going to do that while they're in the middle of the meltdown.
Okay. Right.
Makes sense.
I'm not gonna go, oh, it's okay, honey, like, I'll give you this other
Yeah.
bowl because
Yeah.
that's just going to stop the meltdown.
Right.
Because all that's going to do is it's going to kind of reinforce, like, oh, I felt a big feeling. Mom was scared of it. So mom had to get rid of that feeling as quick as she could.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Okay.
All
Makes
right.
a
And
lot of
then, so
sense.
does that go back to the prefrontal cortex not being developed? And then, kind of, I guess, back to one of my first questions is like, my daughter is almost 4 and
Yeah.
she still has really big feelings.
Yeah.
When can we maybe see those tapering off?
Yeah. Yeah. Every kid will be different. A lot of the time there's a lot of different developmental leaps throughout childhood.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely by the time they're like 6 and 7 is where we start to see a little bit more kind of logic kicking
Okay.
in. But that's not to say that they're going to always be logical, right? So we're
Right.
gonna
Where like your 8-year-old was not
exactly,
wanting to ride because of the cold. Yeah.
exactly. And where me as a mid
Yeah.
30s person still freaks out sometimes,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Totally. Right.
So, yeah, so we definitely won't see it like it's not going to be a linear progression. And at 4, they're still so much in that emotional center. So it's still so much more of like, let's step into that stuff with them. A really common thing that I might say is I might say something like, oof, things are really overwhelming right now. When you're yelling so loud like that, it makes my heart rate increase and I need to stop for a moment. I need to take a deep breath. And I'm going to put it onto myself and I'm just going to model that. And I'm going to say, hey, these are my needs. Like, this is what
Yeah.
I need to do. Our children, they're probably not going to show that they're learning that right then, but they're watching, right? They're seeing that and they're going,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
I saw that mom got overwhelmed. I saw that mom took care of herself. Maybe I should try that next time.
I like
I
that a
love
lot.
that.
Good.
My
Yeah.
daughter, who is like we call her spicy, she's super spicy. She's also such a gentle soul, and she's like a highly sensitive kid as well. So
Yeah.
it's just like if I ever feel unregulated and I raise my voice a little, like I never full out yell, but
Yeah.
even if I just kind of raise my voice slightly because I'm just frustrated, they're not listening. I've asked 6 times, like she just you can just see like the ground shake beneath her. Like I've literally seen her like shiver. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But
Oh,
like it's just I don't know, I guess every kid just needs a different approach. Is
They
that right?
do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they do. And it sounds like she's
Yeah.
very naturally attuned to other people's emotions.
She is. She is. Even when she was 2 and she was upset, she'd say, "I need a hug." I was like, holy cow. Her older sister's never tapped into her own emotions before. Hugs are what made her feel safe and what made her regulate herself. And at 2, she
Yeah.
knew that. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot from her. Or like, even if she needs a hug when I'm leaving, I'll give her like a hug. She'll be like, no, a warm hug. And then so I have to like really embrace her.
Yeah. That's so
I'm just
cute.
like, you are teaching me to slow down and
Yeah.
just like, God bless her. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
think that they teach us, especially these really sensitive kids, they teach us so much more about our own feelings because
They
as
do.
people who were raised in the 90s, a lot of us don't know what we're feeling.
So true.
It's true.
And then people come to me and they're like, I am so perplexed about why my child is freaking out. And it's often not until like session number 10 and they're like, oh, I was freaking out internally all the time and my child was picking up on that.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's like a way, I guess, when your clients come to you, what would advice be for them? I know we'll wrap up here soon, but what would your advice be for them on breaking some of those cycles that, we learned over and over and over again? For example, when my oldest was 2, we were having bedtime drama, as we all do. And I remember just getting frustrated and starting to stomp up the stairs. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I paused. I'm like, this is something my stepdad used to do. I didn't know I had that in me, but I feel like we just like innately pick up these traits from our parents when they were raising us, and
yeah,
they come out in parenting, and you don't know you have that in you until you feel certain ways.
totally.
So what's a way to,
Totally.
and I've never done that again, but what would be a good way, what would you tell your clients how to start breaking those cycles?
Yeah, I think that I will always say that the first thing is going to be becoming really mindful of them. So slowing down, checking in with yourself and going, okay, what am I feeling? Right? What am I feeling right now? Maybe after those moments, after the moments where you react in a way that you didn't want to react, just taking a little bit of an inventory after that's happened and you've kind of come down, going like, okay, what was going on for me, right? Was I tired? Was I hungry? Did I need to take care of myself a little bit more? And I'm going to always say that it's going to come back to just being kind to ourselves, right? Being compassionate to ourselves and going, okay, can I be gentle with myself? Yeah. Did I react in a way that I didn't want to? Totally. Totally. And if I'm going to beat myself up about that, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I was so bad. I must be such a bad parent. I am just a failure. I'm never going to break this. I can't do this. Or I say, I just have to be better. I have to be better. And it's like I'm white knuckling through it,
Yeah.
right? If I'm just white knuckling through it, like I'm still going to be dysregulated. I'm still going to be coming at it from a place of dysregulation. So while I might be saying the right things, like with air quotes there, I might be saying the right things, but I'm not actually regulated. I'm not actually connected, and my child still feels that.
Yeah.
Right? So breaking those cycles comes to a lot of mindfulness and a lot of awareness about where is your nervous system at? Like, where is how are you feeling? Are you feeling regulated? And what do you need? What do you need in order to be regulated and to feel a little bit more safe?
It's interesting. The one thing that I'm like a big takeaway that I'm getting from you is like stopping to check in with yourself and putting your needs, first, and figuring out what's going on with yourself is so huge, and like almost everything we've talked to you about.
Yeah.
So that's super, with the people pleasing, with tantrums, and you're talking about now with breaking cycles. It's just like, and I feel like as moms, that's not the first thing you do. Usually it's like, oh my God, I have to fix everything right now. Totally. Instead of just being like,
We're reactive.
okay, how do I need to figure out what's going on. Yeah, very reactive, instead of taking the time to just be like, okay, check in with yourself.
Yeah.
Figure out what's going on with you. So
Totally.
it's something I'm going to try and remind myself next time we're in one of those moments.
And I feel like
Yeah.
our poor children, usually the first ones are always at the brunt of it too, because we'll mess up and then we'll be like, we learn a lesson from it. But the poor child is the one we had to,
Was a part of it.
She was part of the lesson.
Yeah. And you know what? It's normal. It's okay. Like, it's totally normal. So, like, giving ourselves a lot more grace. We tend to have this idea that, attachment is this like fragile little thing that if I yell at my child once, or if I didn't have it right, I will say honestly, even for the first X number of years, however long, we can always repair, right? So we need to just have a lot more gentleness with ourselves. Yeah.
Are you an advocate for apologies as well?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Like, oops, I made a mistake. I said to my daughter the other day as I was like trying to wrap up from a camping trip, so I was overwhelmed and I kind
So
of
much to do.
so much to do, and I was solo. I was like the only adult
Oh my gosh,
navigating like a
Just like,
trip with
please
my
keep out of
kids.
my way. Everybody let me do this.
Kind of. And and then my daughter was like, she goes, why do I have to do everything as I'm like carrying my 80-liter pack with a canoe on my
Heard
head?
that many times this week.
And I shouted at her. I was like, stop it. Right?
Yeah.
I was so annoyed. And then, so 10 minutes later, I came back from that and I said, hey, Hannah, I'm sorry that I shouted at you. I don't think I was angry with you. I think I was just feeling a little overwhelmed there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And she
Tired.
was so able to be like, she's had so much grace for me. And she's like, yeah, it's okay, Mom. I think I was feeling overwhelmed too.
Oh, that's so nice.
We were both feeling overwhelmed, and that's okay. That's normal.
Yes.
Amy, before we let you go, is there anything else you want to touch on or share?
You know what? I think that we've kind of covered the gamut of things. So, no, that was, that I think we touched on everything that I need to talk about there.
Perfect. Well, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you in Calgary and on social media?
Yeah, so my practice here is located in Midnapore, and so that's in Southeast Calgary. And online, I'm at Grey J Counseling on Instagram, or my website is greyjcounseling.com. There's me, and I've got a few contractors that practice from very similar lenses. So, check us out, mostly on Instagram.
Perfect.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
much,
And actually,
guys.
before we go out, Heather, we normally make you do the out, but I'll do the out this time.
Let's do it.
We always love when you weigh in. We call our listeners our jugheads. So if any jugheads want to weigh in or you want to come on the show, just email us, chatwiththegals@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Just Us Gals Podcast. There, I had a little brain fart there.
No, I always have a brain fart.
Yeah. What is it again? Even though I'm on it multiple times a day. But yes, Amy, thank you so much for all your wisdom and knowledge.
And I speak for Jess and I when I say that I learned so much, and it was super helpful for helping me and my parenting.
Seriously,
learning about my kids.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I always love
Thank you,
hearing from an
guys.
expert. So thank you.
Thank you guys. It was so great to talk with you guys, and I always like bristle a little when I hear expert. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just another mom trying to navigate this too. I just
Who knows
happen
a
to have read a
little
few
bit
books.
more than us? Yes.
Yeah. And a little more knowledge than we do.
Yes, just a bit.
But yeah. So
Okay,
thanks
thank you,
again,
Amy.
and we'll be back soon.
Thank you guys.